Welcome to VMware Server Concepts. This module will introduce concepts that will help you better understand how virtualization works with VMware Server. VMware Server installs like an application on Windows or Linux machine. Once installed on a computer, this computer becomes what is referred to as the host computer. In other words, this computer is now hosting the VMware Server application and will be hosting virtual machines. As virtual machines get created, they become guest operating systems that run on the host computer. A guest operating system can be Windows, Linux, or other type of supported operating system that's supported by VMware Server. Guest operating systems run on the host computer. How many operating systems are running in this picture? There are 4. The operating system that the host operating system is running, and 3 for the virtual machines. The guest operating system is made up of a series of files that are stored on the host operating system. Later modules will discuss what each of these files are. For now, it's important to understand that the guest operating system is stored as a series of files on the host. The guest operating system shares hardware with other guests on the same host operating system. The CPU, memory, disk, and network resources of the host computer are used by the guest operating system, thereby increasing the utilization of the host computer. Virtual machines on the same host are isolated from one another, so that if one virtual machine fails, it won't affect the other running virtual machines on the same host. Every virtual machine that is created with VMware Server gets its own virtual hardware the guest operating system can use. This virtual hardware is not the same hardware that the host computer uses. For example, the virtual machine sees a physical disk. However, that physical disk in reality is just a file that exists on the host computer's hard disk drive. A virtual machine can use up to 2 virtual processors and can use up to 3.6 gigabytes of memory. Every virtual machine has a console that you access from the VMware Server application that gives you total control of the guest operating system. This console can even be run in full screen mode on your host system to allow you to work with the guest the same way you would a physical guest. One benefit of working with virtual machines is that you have more flexibility in working with the way data is stored. Virtual machines all have virtual hard disk drives that are stored as files on the host operating system's hard drive. These virtual hard disks can have snapshots associated with them that store only the changes while leaving the original disk unchanged. This is useful if you need to return the virtual machine to a known state for testing or for development. Many networking options exist with virtual machines to give you flexibility in configuring how the virtual machines communicate with each other on the network. 3 options exist for setting up the virtual machine networking: bridged, NAT, and host only. Bridge networking means that the virtual machine has a unique identity on the same network as the host computer. In this example, the virtual machine appears on the network just as it would if it were a physical machine. When using NAT networking, the virtual machines do not appear on the physical network. Instead, the VMware Server creates a private network for the virtual machine, providing them DHCP and NAT services. The virtual machines can only get access to the network going through the NAT service provided by the VMware Server. With host-only networking, a private network is created between the VMware Server host and the virtual machines. The virtual machines can communicate with each other, however, they cannot communicate outside of the VMware host. This is useful when you want to do testing off of the production network.
This module is part of a larger series of learning objects. If you would like to view a high-quality version of this module, as well as the rest of the modules in the series for VMware Server 1.0, just send an email to vms1qsg@vmware.com. You will be forwarded a link that contains all the modules in downloadable form. Thank you for choosing VMware Education.